The Honourable David Parker.
Thank you. I rise to take a brief call. Can I begin by where the Minister left off, where the Attorney left off, and add my thanks on behalf of the Labour Party to the service that Sir David Gascoigne has given across a number of governments over a long period of time, both in important regulatory roles such as this, but also a lot of service to the arts at his own cost, and also commercial service, including as Chair of Transpower for a while. Mr. Speaker, in terms of the appointment, Alan Ritchie is well known to most lawyers in New Zealand, having been the CEO of the Law Society for a period of more than 2 decades, which was long service indeed, and I'm sure will be a very, very capable Judicial Conduct Commissioner, having served already in the role of Deputy. I know less well the person who's being appointed as Deputy, Catherine Snook, but I accept the Attorney's recommendation and acknowledge that he has consulted with me in respect to both of those appointments. I won't take a lot of time, sir. I will just say that we do have to be careful that we don't allow vexatious litigants to be the bane of judges' lives. The Judicial Complaints Authority is not an appeal body. It's not a way to relitigate decisions that litigants are dissatisfied with. I think there is a worrying tendency for some vexatious litigants to take things too far. I see in the latest annual report for the Judicial Conduct Commissioner that there is an increasing incidence of judicial review of the Judicial Conduct Commissioner's decisions. So not only have they had their appeals finished in the judicial system, they've had a complaint to the Judicial Conduct Commission, that's gone against them as well, and not satisfied with all those steps, they're now starting to take judicial review proceedings against the Judicial Conduct Commissioner's decision, and it can go too far in those situations. Sometimes I feel that some of those litigants are themselves being used by interest groups within society who favour longer sentences, for example, or are all too willing to challenge bail decisions which occasionally have adverse consequences even if the bail decision was right. The only way to avoid some bail decisions going wrong is to have no bail, which of course causes other injustices by people who are not guilty of crimes losing their liberty, and also of course would put huge cost to taxpayers, locking everyone up during remand rather than people getting bail. So, sir, it is a difficult job that the Judicial Conduct Commissioner faces, because the people who are complaining are sometimes very distressed, sometimes right, but more often wrong, as the stats show as to the outcomes of most of the complaints that are made. Most of them are not upheld. Most of them don't get to a panel. And I think that's the right outcome. So with those brief comments, sir, I endorse the Attorney's recommendation of Alan Deans Ritchie as Judicial Conduct Commissioner and Catherine Mary Snook as Deputy.
I call David